Recording in progress.
Good morning, honorable members. I think the time to start our meeting has arrived. Can I just give you 1 minute for everybody to settle down so that we begin? Thanks, honorable members. Once again, good morning to everybody, particularly to you all, honorable members. This is the meeting of the Public Enterprises Portfolio Committee. In this particular meeting, we've got only 3 items. And I'm saying only because these items are very short. We're supposed to finish this meeting within 30 minutes if we can. I think we suppose, unless honorable members, because these are things that we are all familiar with, and all we do is just to adopt. We'll be asking a person in the likes of the secretary to make that presentation of that report. In fact, to summarize the report, particularly on the recommendation part, because these reports, most of them is issues that we have been dealing with, and particularly the legacy report is a report that we have been already seeing for quite some time. And then I will ask members if they want to adopt, and then we adopt, and then we go to the next report. Therefore, we're supposed to finish this meeting within 30 minutes, a maximum of 30 minutes. But before we start, a procedure has to be followed because it's a normal meeting. I will ask the secretary to read the apologies, if there are any apologies. Secretary?
Morning, Chair and honorable members. I haven't received any apologies for today's meeting, Chair.
Thank you. If that's the case, honorable members, let's just go straight to the legacy report. I think we all have access to the document. They were all sent in time to us. We'll ask the secretary to take us through the report. I give you 5 minutes to do that, Mr. Mchumi. Mr. Mchumi,
Okay,
are
Chair.
you there?
Yes, Chair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna flight it quick.
Yes, you have to.
Yes, Chair. Just to recap, members, from the last meeting that we had, we presented the report. The changes that the members did and the suggestions were mainly on the structure of the report, that it had in the beginning the executive summary, which clouded and made the report unreadable. So we tried to have the introduction in the front of the report and the entities that the committee overseen. And then before we go into and you highlight the key achievements for the sixth administration, and then we go into the activities of the portfolio committee over the past 5 years, and also the method of work of the committee, the purpose of the report, and the key statistics. And then also the oversight visits of the committee, and also here we deal with the matters that are outstanding still that we think the next administration should look into. And then we also look at the study tours. Obviously, there was none for the committee. And then these are all statistics of which are mandatory to be in the report. But since our committee does not deal with any legislation in that particular in the sixth administration or any interventions per se, so those will be not applicable to our committee chair. And then we also look at the two petitions that the committee had looked at. Obviously, we will update it as per post this meeting in terms of what were the outcomes of this meeting in terms of the second petition. And then we also look at the issue of the obligations that are conferred on the committee. Then we look at the summary of outstanding issues, state-owned enterprise. Then we look at the recommendations that the committee made to the sixth administration in terms of how to improve the oversight over state-owned enterprises. Obviously, the department might not be in existence. And then we look at also the executive summary, which is a reflection of the committee. And this is still work that I think our content advisor will still add more information on in terms of the report. But it's basically a summary of what is on top of the report, Chair. And then the report at the end, Chair, it will have all the members of the committee as the master attendance register, which will be thing. The one other thing that's supposed to be part of the report will be your strategic planning session, strategic planning document, which the committee, if you remember, it never went on a strategic planning session per se. Yeah, thank you very much, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mchumi. Honorable members, that is the report presented by the secretary, which is our legacy report. Can I get any adoption? Honorable Siweya.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning to yourself and members of the committee, and thank you to Mr. Disang for adding the recommendations which we made last week. I just want clarity, Chair, before the adoption. I read the report. You see on page 9, as part of submitting even for the next committee, so that they don't, let me try and open the document so that I speak and clarify. 1 minute, Chair. On page 9, for example, there are activities that we were supposed to do, which we did not do. Study tours, international agreements, statutory appointments, interventions considered. I think we only succeeded with the one of petitions. I'm not sure you will clarify me, especially the secretary, if we maybe alert the next committee what made us to fail, so that the next committee does not fail in that regard. That is one. The second one, Chair, I'm finding a confusion, and I'm requesting for clarity. That is on page 22, 23. The one around petitions. We're given those two petitions. I want to speak about the one of SAA, which was given on the 8th of November, 2022. You see here, as a committee, we are saying that at the point of concluding the investigation and reporting to the House before the end of term. One, I want to find out, are we still going to meet as a committee to discuss this issue? My calendar of parliament says on the 2nd of April until the 27th of May, we're on recess. Then it's 2 days before the election. So ideally, I want clarity that where is this investigation? Are we still going to meet? So that we can conclude the investigation and give it to the committee. I'm asking about time frame. But Chair, the other issue, and committee members, that I need clarity on is that the attachment, you see the attachment which has been attached on the draft, let me read it so that you follow. The draft report of Portfolio Committee on Public Enterprise on the petition by Mr. Takatso. At the end there, which is a contradiction, because on one hand, we're saying we're still busy with investigation, so that we can report. But here we're saying we're recommending an SIU investigation. I hope you are following the sequence. There is a bit of confusion. We are recommending while we're doing the investigation as a committee. Where are we? But you see, we are a collective, and I don't want us to miss something which might be a problem to us. As a committee, collectively, we met and we said we want an SIU investigation. I was not in that meeting, but those decisions, they bind me. Now, in that post that meeting, the department then wrote and released a statement and also made attachments to say there's malicious intent against the chairperson. And I'm saying it, Chair, because I don't want us to ignore it, because the decisions which you communicate are decisions of the collective, and you should not necessarily be isolated. How do we express ourselves as a committee towards that? I'm saying this because for me, for example, if we were able as a committee given by the speaker to say there's a complaint from Mr. Takatso, who right now, myself, where I'm sitting, the president appointed a committee, which was led by Minister Lamul, to say, investigate the allegations, which have got nothing to do with the Takatso deal, on him doing irregular things in the department, which he was fired for. For me, he's a subject of he's not credible. And that the department is giving us things and saying he signed while he says he has not signed. In that SIU investigation, for example, if we're making recommendations and we agree that we leave it to the SIU, it will investigate everybody. It must not necessarily, because the department now is alleging you alone, while it's a collective, to say all of us must be subjected to the investigation, because one way or another, we were going to be part of the process, playing our role as Parliament of oversight when the executive is accounting. How do we express ourselves in regard to that? Also, because right now at 9:30, the department then is send us something. Do we keep quiet as a committee and not necessarily entertain it, because it's saying to us, here we are concluding wrong. And when I tried to read, I just did not finish the entire document but I was about to finish the document, is that how do we respond to saying, for example, that we're saying the legal opinion of Parliament told us that there's no wrongdoing, and that somehow we're extending our mandate. As a committee, how do you express ourselves? We must not leave it and ignore it, Chair, because they are saying they're going to take it on a court review. It's not a threat per se. I'm not saying we must act based on that we're fearing to go to court and defend ourselves. But I'm saying that there are allegations which are also brought which I think we need to entertain. And if we clear the chair or we say we can't necessarily investigate ourselves as a committee, how do we express ourselves and not ignore what has been said, because we are a collective. But now you are scrutinized alone to say you've got malicious intent. How do we clarify it and address it as a committee before we can conclude the report? And how do we balance? Here you are saying SIU investigations. On the other side, you are saying we're still busy. We're busy, we're going to meet when? How do we conclude? Or do we think that maybe we can just say we're referring it to the next administration to be able to address and deal with the matter? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Sweya. I see Honorable Malinga, but before I give to Honorable Malinga, I will suggest that, because this might happen again to somebody else from another party might come and say something. I want to suggest that when we come to the portfolio committees, if you have missed a meeting before, it will be important and helpful for each and every member who happened to miss a session to interact with the members of his or her party in order to understand what has happened, so that you help the meeting to continue and flow without having to go back and forth. Honorable Malinga.
No. Thank you very much, Chairperson. Greetings to yourself, members of the portfolio, and the parliamentary staff that is on call. Chairperson, actually, you have covered me, because I wanted to assist Honorable Sweya, because she says the decisions that were taken in the previous meeting, they bind her, which the decision of the portfolio committee says that the matter, because remember, after our meeting with the legal advisor of Parliament, the Modisane memorandum and whatnot, the DG went on national TV and accused us. So I think the decision of the committee suffices, because Tina, in our capacity, we don't have the skill and capacity to investigate whether indeed that signature that it's there on the documents really is the signature of the DG. And the portfolio committee was not tasked by the Speaker of Parliament to investigate whether the DG is fit for the office or not, because that report did not come to the portfolio committee. The issue that we were busy with, it was the issue of the SAA-SEP deal that was out there in the public, of which is what we as the portfolio committee, due to the back and forth of the correspondences, of the non-disclosures agreement, of the documents not being given to members and whatnot, we did not do a thorough job as the portfolio committee. Hence the recommendation that the SIU must further investigate, because it's who said this and the other one responds. So now seated here, we don't know what happened, but there's something fishy about the deal. And the problem, Chairperson, that I said even the last time is that now we're talking about something that is no longer there, that has been withdrawn, which should also include the report that goes to the Speaker that we did not conclude, because when we were in the midst of the deal was withdrawn. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Malinga. Honorable members, the report of the legacy report is there, and I'm still want us to adopt the report, because we've been dealing with this report for some time, and it's now a final day for us to adopt the report, or unless someone want to amend anything, because most of the issues that we engaged previously have been included in the report as far as I have read it. Is there any mover? Honorable Mkhwanazi?
Thank you, Chairperson. Greeting to yourself, honorable members, and everyone in the platform. I thought you'll follow your normal procedure in pointing people. Honorable Chairperson, I don't want to waste your time with the clarities that you provided and with the addition from Honorable Malinga on the issues raised by Honorable Siweya. I want to move for the adoption of the legacy report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Malinga. Honorable Nkosinathi Dlamini? Honorable Dlamini?
Thanks, Chair. Morning, colleagues. I will second the adoption of the report. Immediately after seconding, I want to make a comment. I've just read the letter from the minister. I don't think it will help us to keep discussing this matter in this fashion. Remember, comrade, remember, colleagues, as the legislative arm, in terms of the doctrine of separation of powers, we oversee the executive. We become a check on the executive. They don't oversee us. We don't account to them. And if we continue this exchange between us and the department, as if the department must tell us how to conclude on this matter, this will not take us anywhere forward. Let's conclude agreed, because part of the things that are said in the letter are confirming the correctness of our decision, in that we are not able to establish facts because there's one accusation and a counter accusation, and we are not equipped to investigate these allegations and counter allegations. Therefore, a more competent body with investigative powers should take this matter forward. This will then help us. If we take this matter forward in that fashion, it will help us in two ways. If the DG is lying, as the minister is alleging, the DG will have to come and bring and write and swear to his testimony. And if it's established that he's lying, he would have perjured himself.
Are you done, Honorable Dlamini? Honorable Dlamini?
Yes, seconded the report.
Yeah, but I think his mic is still on. I think he's experiencing some problem. That's why I want to make it a point that he finishes. If he's not, maybe he's experiencing connection problem. Okay. While Honorable Dlamini is experiencing connectivity problem because the system kicked him out now. Okay. Can we go to the next? Because at the end of the day, he was actually supporting seconding Honorable Mkhwanazi in the adoption of the report. Honorable members, let's go to the second report that actually talked to what already honorable members end up selecting on the legacy report that was not necessarily dealing with the investigation. The legacy report was starting from 2019 when we started up to this day in terms of our work. Therefore, but honorable members zoomed to this particular matter, despite the fact that there is a report on the investigation of the allegation by the former DG, which are now the report that we're supposed to get from the acting secretary, because when we started this, the secretary of this committee was not well, and then we took the acting secretary, who's a content advisor to this committee, to act as a secretary, and we continued with him because we didn't want to take the secretary who was already missed some of the session. Therefore, on those bases, we will ask the acting secretary, Ronnie Mnisi, who is a content advisor to this committee, to present the summary of the report of the investigation that we have to adopt, so that the National Assembly can do that tomorrow if it's possible. Thank you. Mnisi?
Good morning, Chair.
More.
Good. I just want to check if you can see.
Yes, we can see the report clear.
Okay.
Chair,
Hello, who's that?
it's
Honorable?
Honorable Gondwe.
Oh, Dr. Gondwe?
Yes. Chair, sorry to disturb you. I have a question. I didn't understand your last comment about the National Assembly. Can you please repeat that?
I'm saying could you hear me? Okay. I was saying this report that is going to be tabled today by Mr. Mnisi, we adopted for the National Assembly to adopt it. Perhaps tomorrow, if they can, we don't know whether they will, or perhaps there will be a special session to adopt the other outstanding important report. I was, in fact, informed by the Chief Whip that agent report, while we are finishing tomorrow, there might be special session where some of the important or urgent matters will be convened in the National Assembly for the consideration. Therefore, this report, if it could not make it tomorrow, it could be part of those reports that will be adopted on those special sittings that we'll be having until the date of the election.
All right. Chair, if I can come in, please, through you. Chair, I'm just a bit worried that if it's going to be considered by the NA tomorrow, that doesn't give us enough time to prepare our declarations on the report.
Okay.
So,
okay, then.
Yeah, we need time as individual political parties to prepare, because we'll be expected to make 5-minute declarations, if I'm not wrong. So my worry is that tomorrow is too soon, for us to actually, have those declarations ready and the like.
Okay, I'm sure the Chief Whip's office, including the what is called that committee that determine what to get in and to get out, they will consider those. Yes, they will consider those realities.
All right.
Sure. Continue, Mnisi.
Good morning, Chair, again, and members of the committee. Chair, the report hasn't changed from what it looked like when we presented it as a draft. It's still a draft for comments and adoption. So what has changed were only findings, but we will focus on the findings and the recommendation. And one recommendation, it's only one recommendation. I think members have seen the report. But on the findings, the committee commended the former Director General for entrusting the committee with the responsibility to investigate allegations of irregularity in the SAA transaction. The committee acknowledged time frame stipulated in the Protected Disclosure Act in terms of processing the protected disclosure. However, the committee sought to exercise caution, diligence, and patience with affected parties to ensure a fair, credible process. The committee afforded all parties an opportunity to state their side of the story and submit all material evidence to support and counter the allegations brought before the committee. The committee noted with concern, despite numerous requests to the Minister of Public Enterprises to submit the relevant documents to counter allegations made by a former Director General, the Minister has only submitted crucial documents as requested very late into the investigation, with conditions for non-disclosure and the meeting to be held in camera. This rendered the work of the committee difficult to go through the documents and make their own opinion analysis of the transaction. The committee raised concern that the documents that the minister failed to submit were critical for the committee to be able to test the veracity of the allegations. Hence, the failure of the minister to submit the evidence on time has not assisted the process and have not provided the committee with the tangible evidence to pursue the committee not to believe some of the allegations made by the former Director General. The lack of transparency on the SAA transaction and lack of documentary evidence further cast suspicion and doubt on whether SAA was indeed above board. The committee has acknowledged the lack of clear regulatory framework for SAP transaction from the Department of Public Enterprises, has put government at risk with respect to SAA transaction. The minister was mandated by AXA to develop a framework which still need to be submitted to the committee. The committee could not determine the exact valuation of the Takatso transaction. The new valuation details were not submitted to the committee. And it is imperative that these details are shared with the committee. The committee has acknowledged that through the media that the sale of 51% stake in SAA to Takatso has been cancelled. However, it would have put the committee at ease had the minister informed the committee on the cancellation and terms and conditions to cancel the sale. One of the allegations, I think from 10 to 15, these were findings that came from last week's meeting, that one of the allegations made by the former DG was that RMB was handpicked by the minister as the sole provider of the transactional advisory services in the aviation space. This was done even though the market was never tested regarding the assertion, this assertion by the minister. The department has provided us with no justification as to why the market was not tested in this regard. Furthermore, we advise the reason for appointing RMB in the first place was that there was no technical capacity within the department to do what was required, given the magnitude of the transaction in question. And curiously, when I think this was dealt with last week, I don't have to repeat it. And the committee recommendations on 10, they say the committee recommends that the Minister of Police should consider referring this matter to the Special Investigating Unit for further investigation. And the conclusion, having considered the petition of the former Director General, Mr. Takatso, the committee wishes to thank the Minister of Public Enterprises for his cooperation and Mr. Tlhagodi for entrusting Parliament with the responsibility to investigate this matter. I think that's the end of the report, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mnisi. Honorable members, this is your report for the adoption. Is there anyone to move for the adoption?
Chair.
Yes, Honorable Mhlongo.
Thanks, Chair. Chair, before greetings, colleagues and the parliamentary staff. Chair, before that, man, on point or item 10, on item 11, the conclusion of this report. It says the committee wishes to thank the Minister of Public Enterprises for his cooperation. Chair, the minister was not really cooperative with this committee. For him to first come to attend the committee meetings on the scheduled date. There were times in September where he just wrote a letter in the morning or wee hours of the morning to indicate that he will not be able to make it because I think he said his doctor advised him not to fly because he was sick or something. And the other time he was supposed to come in May, he went to an international trip to China. And really, the reports that were demanded, Chair, from the minister, it took a lot of time, and at some point it felt like we're now on our knees begging the minister to bring forth the reports that were demanded. Even so, on the day he finally brought the report, there was a lot of, for lack of a better word, I will call it tantrums that the minister was throwing around for him to be to give us those reports. When you said minister is now the opportunity on the agenda is that you must hand over the report at this point. He could not immediately hand over the report. He wanted to make a long preamble, say a lot of things, indicating that he's unwilling to hand over the report to us. So I don't think we appreciate the drama he put us through to get the reports that we had asked him to produce or to give to the committee. So he was not really cooperative. I'm just in disagreement with that statement that says the minister was cooperating. He was not cooperative, Chair. He was very reluctant on giving us the reports or sharing any document. And then, because we're on this matter, Chair, I don't want to come back again. On this letter that he sent to the committee this morning, Chair, I think we ought to indicate that we don't appreciate his letter. And we're really, as a committee, we don't understand why the minister will single you out when you can read his letter there at the conclusion. The minister says what the chair is asking of the committee is to undermine Parliament. Chair, the decisions or resolutions that are made by this committee are not your personal resolutions. They are resolutions of the committee. They bind all of us. The only difference with you and all the members of this committee is that you chair the committee. You are the face, perhaps, of this committee. But these resolutions are not your personal resolutions that you can be written letters and be treated in this manner by Minister Pravin. We don't appreciate it, Chair. And if the minister feels like he should take this to court for review, the committee report to court for review, he is more than welcome to do so. It's a democratic country. Those are the avenues that are afforded to all citizens and the department as well. But ours is that this report, Chair, must be adopted and it must continue, and that we want special investigating unit to investigate
this report, because all of us here were not competent to be able to investigate signatures if a signature is legitimate. Now is an issue of he said, she said, and really, if we go that route, we will never be able to conclude that report, this report. So on our part, we have done our work, we've concluded. Our conclusion is that we can't reach a really final conclusion because there's now an issue of allegation of signatures that the former DG is claiming that have been forged. It's not his signatures. And the minister comes and says, no, it's his signature. So we're not going to play that game. Therefore, it's best to hand over this to legitimate authorities. Authorities with the special skills to investigate the signatures and so forth. And then once the special investigating unit has investigated this report, then we'll be final to put this matter to rest. But we don't appreciate, since the beginning of this investigation, Chair, the minister has always, every day, every morning of the committee or a night before the committee is supposed to sit, writing us letters with an undertone of disrespect and somewhat threatening you as a chair and the committee. And we really don't appreciate that, Chair. You should not be blamed for decisions that are taken by this committee. And in fact, you should not be isolated as if you are operating from somewhere outside of the collective. We come here, we discuss, we conclude on matters, and then we get these letters. We really don't appreciate the letter from Mr. Pravin, and we think it's just uncalled for. If he wants to go to court after publishing this report, he must just be allowed to do so, because this is a democratic country. The courts are always available to do so. So, Chair, this report, we must just adopt it, but just change the last part that the minister was not cooperative in giving us reports, because there was never a time he really cooperated with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Songo. Honorable Dlamini, I think I saw you.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. I got lost earlier. No, I think I want to propose that we adopt the report with the proposed amendments. In fact, I second the adoption of the report with the proposed amendments. Chair, I want to raise my concern in terms of how the minister seems to be responding to this process. Remember, Chair, our democracy recognizes the doctrine of separation of powers. It would really weaken this whole entire system if the executive wants to put pressure on the legislative arm of the state. I think for this thing to work, everyone must do his work in a free and impartial manner. And I believe this process has been free and impartial. Where we need to be clear is that we cannot establish facts at this stage because of the counter accusations between the minister and the former DG. What becomes clear, though, is that this needs to be investigated further by a more competent body. I don't want to say the SIU because I don't know which other bodies are there, but a more competent body that would be decided by the office of the speaker is the body that should be empowered to investigate this further. Because, Chair, remember, even as the committee, it is not something that we were told by the former DG that there's a veil of secrecy around this transaction. We've raised concerns even when the DG was there and when he wasn't forthcoming with the truth at that time. Only when there was a fallout that he decided to develop a conscience. We must not forget that. But be that as it may, there is something that needs to be investigated here so that we arrive at facts. Because remember, Chair, to say the DG has not provided any shred of evidence to his allegations. It was the DG who talked about the evaluations of SAA. And that's when the decision to do another valuation was taken. And it proved him to be correct because the second valuation came up with a different figure. In terms of its accuracy, we are here to establish that. We'll wait and see. But we cannot, in good conscience, say the DG's allegations must be dismissed without consideration. Remember, Chair, in the bundle of documents that the DG submitted to us, he attached newspaper articles. Now, what we don't know is that when that conversation happened, was it immediately after RMP had excused itself from the process or after? We still can't arrive at a determination, Chair, in terms of the times, because when RMP was there, both Harry and Global Aviation did not have financial muscle to pull this thing through. Immediately after RMP left, they were part of the four shortlisted companies by the DP. This then begs the question: when did they get money now, all of a sudden, to pursue this thing? And one might even ask, if they had money, why is it that they have not even put a cent to this day till the deal was cancelled towards SAA? Because if we have turned around SAA, then we are selling it to them for that price. What sense does that make? So these are questions that can't be answered, Chair, but they must be asked. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but a body must be put in place to look into these matters so that we are able to give a fair chance to both the minister and the DG to add their versions of the story, and they will be able to cross-examine each other, then establish facts. Then it's a fair process for everyone. Chair. Thanks.
Thank you, Honorable Dlamini. Honorable members, there are two other members who want to, but I think there was a mover in the second. Honorable Mhlongo moved and the Honorable Dlamini seconded, but Honorable Malinga and Kumede's hands are up. Honorable Malinga?
No, no. Thank you again, Chairperson. I was lost because the report has been presented, seconded, and adopted. So, what item are we on now? That is why my hand was up, because the report is presented, seconded, and adopted. What are these rhetorics about, if I may ask, Chair? Thank you very much.
Honorable Kumede.
Hi, Chair. Thank you very much, and greetings to all members on the platform. Chair, I wanted to put you on the spot here. That just give me the summary of the recommendation, the approval, and the second, and the person that seconded. Because I was going to say we approve the report as is, without any changes. But I'm not sure whether you have the same view, the understanding from the discussions that we had. I'm saying this because this is the report that eventually may as well become the subject of the investigation. They may come and ask for the report. So if we've got differences in terms of what we would have agreed upon, and then it's something else. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Honorable members, I think we are all in order here. It's such that members have issues, that minor issues. For example, if I can explain to you, Honorable Mhlongo moved for the adoption of this report with a particular amendment that was pertaining us appreciating the cooperation from the minister, saying, no, we cannot say that due to the fact that the minister has been always reluctant and giving us problem in terms of information, delaying and all those things. And I allow honorable members to do those issues because, of course, we cannot 100% agree with each and every word in the report. Actually, I was in my summary, try to explain why we have to appreciate anyone's role, including members that were sometimes not available for the meeting, others coming. But at the end of the day, I was to suggest that let's leave it that way, because despite all this reaction from the minister, including his poor cooperation in terms of not, that led to this delay. But at the end of the day, the minister did give the committee information. The reason that he was giving all these projects because he had his own understanding of the process that we continuously explained to him. Therefore, I don't think because the report did, if I can respond to you, Honorable Mhlongo, the report did mention all the issues that you have identified in terms of the minister's reluctance or the refusal to give us information, and including coming to the committee. It took him more than 6 months for him to come to the committee. Therefore, all those things are there in the report. But I think at the end of the day, we did receive the information that we wanted without having to go to subpoena or going to court to compel him to get the information. Then on that basis, we do have to appreciate that at the end of the day, we did receive the information. Secondly, when it comes, Honorable Dlamini captured everything, and I think he made my work as a chairperson very easy in the fact that he actually explained where we're coming from, including the problems that we got in the process. I think on those bases, and explaining simple things that, including, I think some of the issues that he raised are pertaining to the letter we just received this morning, that I don't want us to spend our energy on them, because that letter, Minister, of course, is an interest group because the allegations are directed to him. We expect that he will have his own understanding. We expect that he will have ill feelings about the conclusion, because a person with interest will always have his own understanding and how he would wish us to conclude the process. Let's understand that. However, that must not remove us from our strategic objective of doing the work we have been given by the Speaker, of which we have done that within those difficulties. At the end of the day, we did our work, and we have to applaud ourselves for being able to do that until today. Therefore, anyone, including the person who makes allegation, he might have his own ill feelings about us, but we know our work. Unfortunately, Dlamini is correct. It's not the vice versa. It's us who are doing an oversight, not them doing an oversight on us. We can only be questioned and be given direction if we are making a mistake, by the National Assembly where we account to the Speaker on this matter, but nobody else suppose. If a person is having problems that, about our outcome of the process, then I think he knows or she knows what direction that particular person has to take. But for now, I'm happy that we have adopted the report. Let's go to the next report, which will be the minutes of the last session. Can we get those minutes, Honorable Mr. Secretary?
Yes, Chair. Thank you very much. Can I go through all four of them, Chair, and then we adopt? The first minutes. Yes, Chair. The minute of 6th of March, which was a follow-up meeting on the evidence submitted to the Parliamentary Legal Advisor regarding the matter of SAA. Those members of the committee were present in the meeting. The opening remarks and welcome of the chairperson, the legal advisor's presentation to the committee, deliberations of the committee on the presentation of the legal advisor, and the committee resolution. The committee resolved that the document presented by the legal advisor will be shared as it is not confidential. The committee is to meet on the date to be requested from the House Chair to make a determination of the way forward. That was the meeting of the 6th. Can I go through all the chair meetings, Chair?
I said that go all to those minutes and then the members will note if there is any issue to deal with.
Okay, the next meeting was the meeting of the 13th of March, Chair, which was where we did the draft of the legacy report and the draft of the report of the progress report on the implementation of the Zondo Commission recommendations. Opening and welcome. The presentation was done by the committee secretary chairperson. The presentation of the progress on the update of the implementation of the Zondo Commission recommendation was done by the content advisor. And then the committee deliberated on the reports and made amendments and recommendations for the enhancements of the two reports. That was the meeting of the 13th. Then the minutes of the 20th. The 20th of March, chairperson was also a physical meeting, which was the deliberation and the finalization of the report of the committee on the petition of the DG on the SAA matter. Members of the committee present, opening and welcoming remarks of the chairperson. And then the deliberations of the committee on the report and the committee resolutions, Chair. That's when the committee resolved that the report will be sent to the Speaker of Parliament with a recommendation that the matter be referred to law enforcement agency, especially the SIU, to further investigate the SAA consortium transaction. That was the meeting that led to the meeting we have today. And then the final, there's one more meeting, I think is a meeting of the 28th, chairperson, is the last one. This meeting was basically a follow-up meeting with the Minister of Public Enterprises on the allegations of irregularities. This was on the 28th of February, Chair. Members of the committee present, the opening and welcome. The Minister made inputs in the meeting. It's a meeting where the Minister was present. And then the deliberations of the committee with the Minister, a summary thereof. And then also, I think the committee resolved that the former Director General and the Minister have made their presentation, and it will now be guided by the legal advice on how to proceed with documents in finalizing the report to the Speaker. That's the end of the minutes, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Mushumi. Honorable members, those are the minutes. We can start from the first one. Is there anyone to move for the adoption of our first meeting, which was on the what date, Mr. Mushumi?
6th of March.
6th of March, yes. Can somebody come in to?
Thank
For
you,
that-
Chair Mkwanazi.
Yes, Mkwanazi.
So I thought you allow Mr. Machumi to combine all the minutes, not to do it one by one. But on that note, Chair, I move for the adoption of the minutes as it is. Thank you.
Okay. Any seconder?
I move to second the whip on the reports that they be adopted. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Kumet. I'm sorry, man, for that. Okay. And can we move to the second one of what date, Honorable Mr. Muchumi?
13th March.
13th of March. 13th of March. Is there any mover? Mkwanazi? Oh, Kumede?
I'm
Yes,
sorry
Chair.
about that, Chair. I move for the adoption.
Okay, Kumede?
Chair is seconded. Originally, I thought that Mkwanazi was agreeing in a pack, but I understand for the purpose of reports that when you confirm the minutes, you confirm them individually. You don't take them in a cluster. Thank you very much, Chair. I second the adoption.
Thank you. The last one is which date?
20 March. 20 March.
20th of March. 20th of March. Is there anyone to adopt? The hand which is reflected here, I don't know where the legacy one is, Miss Mkwanazi. Mkwanazi? Or maybe it's the legacy hand. Is there anyone for
I
the
move,
adoption?
Chair, as Mkwanazi. I move for the adoption.
Okay. Any seconder?
I second.
Second, Lamini.
Piri, Chair, I second.
Oh, Honorable Piri, seconded. Thank you so much.
The last
Honorable
one is the
members, thank you.
28th. The last one is the 28th of February, Chair.
Oh, why is the last one of February? We're supposed to have started with that one. 28th of February minutes, honorable members, is there anyone to move for the adoption?
I move for the adoption. It's Piri.
Honorable Piri, move for the adoption. Any seconder?
I second.
Oh, Lamine is seconded. Thank you so much.
Chair, we can't hear you. You muted your device.
Oh, sorry. Thank you so much, Honorable Msongo. Honorable members, that is the end of our session. We thank you for your participation, though I thought we were to finish by 10:30, but it's not, there's no big deal about 11 o'clock. Thank you so much. Can we declare the meeting closed?
Chairperson. Chair.
We'll meet in the house.
It's the last meeting of the term, in fact, Chairperson.
What happened? Oh,
I'm saying this is our last meeting as a portfolio committee.
Oh.
Yes. We will not be meeting.
You want vice?
So you want to keep at the time?
Yes, I will organize something for you.
Please.
When? Because it's our last day today.
The chairperson will advise.
Oh, but remember, we are from other provinces.
Don't commit myself. Don't commit me. You committed yourself that you do something, and then give us a date, or I will communicate. Unless you are saying I will communicate the date, you are gonna do something. You promise honorable members. Thank you so much.
Okay, sharp.
Long live the chair.